The hospital had been closed for 16 years, not renovated, not demolished, not investigated. Official records blamed structural failure. Locals blamed something else. Security companies kept sending guards. Guards kept quitting. One disappeared for 2 days and returned unable to speak about what happened. Tonight Rango was the new replacement. The desert road behind him was empty for miles. The building stood alone against the night sky, tall, silent, unmoving. Moonlight touched its cracked windows. From a distance it looked abandoned. Up close it felt aware. Rango adjusted his red Hawaiian shirt and gripped his flashlight tighter. He told himself this was just another job. The metal gate groaned loudly as he pushed it open. When he stepped inside the property, the gate slammed shut behind him. There was no wind. He did not turn around. The front doors opened without resistance. That was the first wrong detail. Hospitals do not invite people inside. The lobby was frozen in time. Reception desk overturned. Chairs stacked against the wall. Paperwork scattered across the floor like someone left in a hurry. Dust floated slowly through the beam of Rango's flashlight. The clock above the desk was stuck at 3:17. Rango stepped forward. His footsteps echoed loudly. Step, the sound came back, but uneven. Step, a second echo followed, slightly delayed. He stopped walking. The delayed echo did not. It completed one final step, then silence. Rango slowly turned. The lobby was empty, but the silence now felt occupied. The security room was near the east hallway. Old monitors covered in dust lined the wall. The system had no electricity according to the file, yet one monitor flickered, static, black. Static again. Rango leaned closer. For half a second the screen showed the hallway behind him, but the angle was too high, as if something taller than him was holding the camera. He turned instantly. The hallway was empty. When he looked back, the monitor was completely dead. No power, no light, no signal. The room temperature dropped slightly, just enough for him to notice. The main hallway stretched endlessly, doors on both sides, some open, some closed. Paint peeled from the walls in long vertical scars. Halfway down the corridor, Rango heard a sound, soft like fabric brushing against tile. He turned his flashlight toward the noise. Nothing. He walked again. The brushing sound followed, not behind him, beside him. Keeping pace, he stopped. The sound continued for 2 more steps, then stopped too, as if it realized he was listening. The sign read Children's Recovery. The letters were faded but still readable. Inside were small beds lined perfectly in rows, blankets folded neatly, no dust on them. That was impossible. Everything else was covered. A small red ball rolled slowly across the floor. There was no slope, no wind. It stopped near his foot. From somewhere deep in the corridor, a soft childlike giggle echoed, not loud, not threatening, just distant. Rango felt something shift in the room, not visually, but spatially, as if space itself adjusted, making room for something unseen. The elevator doors were chained shut. A large sign read out of service. Suddenly a clear mechanical sound echoed, ding. The chain fell to the ground. The floor indicator lit up. 3, 2, 1. The doors slid open slowly. Inside was complete darkness, cold. Air rushed out. Rango's breath became visible. On the elevator floor were small wet footprints. Leading outward, they stopped directly in front of him, as if something stood inches away. He felt it. Presence, close, watching, breathing slowly. The 3rd floor was darker than the others. His flashlight beam seemed weaker here, as if the darkness absorbed light. Halfway down the corridor he heard whispering, not words, just layered breathing sounds overlapping. When he turned toward the sound, it stopped. When he faced forward, it continued. His shadow stretched along the wall, normal. Then for a brief second, the shadow's head tilted. He did not move. The shadow returned to normal instantly. His pulse quickened. He knew now the building was not empty. The operating room doors were slightly open. Inside, the surgical light flickered faintly. There was no electricity. Metal instruments lay arranged on a tray, perfectly aligned, as if prepared for a procedure. A gurney sat in the center, straps hanging loosely. Rango stepped inside. The door closed behind him quietly. He did not hear footsteps, but he felt something circle him. Slowly, deliberately, he turned in place, nothing visible, yet the air pressed against. His skin heavy, intentional. The surgical light above him snapped off. Darkness swallowed the room. He heard one slow exhale, not his own. The light flickered back on. The instruments were no longer aligned. They pointed toward him. Back in the hallway, Rango felt it stronger now, no longer distant, no longer subtle. The building was reacting. The walls creaked in patterns, almost rhythmic. Then he heard it, a whisper. Clear, close to his ear, Rango. He froze. No one knew he was here. Tonight, the whisper came again, softer, from behind him. He did not turn immediately. He was afraid if he did, he might finally see it. But when he slowly looked back, the hallway was empty, yet the temperature dropped sharply. His breath clouded again. The presence was closer than ever. Rango stood alone in the center of the hallway, at least visually alone. The silence was no longer empty. It was crowded. The building was not haunted in the way stories describe. It was aware, observing, testing, learning him. Every step he took echoed. Differently now, as if the structure adjusted around him. He understood something in that moment. This place did not want him gone. It wanted him to stay. The lights flickered once. The elevator dinged again somewhere in the distance, and the whisper returned, closer, right beside him. You are not alone. The screen fades to black.